The question is simple. Should the Mavericks trade Anthony Davis? We'll break that question down to today's show here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. Welcome to the DLLS Mavs podcast, powered by Game Time and Michelob Ultra. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. And Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the NBA. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. and our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Carella. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, covering your favorite team, even amid trade talks, which we'll do a lot of today. Should the Mavericks trade Anthony Davis? A newsy morning for your Dallas Mavericks that we'll get into based off of where they are, where they could be headed over the next couple of months. Appreciate you joining us here on DLLS Sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports while you're here and join the over 38,000 subscribers to DLLS Sports. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, good afternoon, Sarah Galkajan. Also, I see in there Matthew Hooks as well on this terrific Tuesday. Ron Harrod Jr., how we feeling?
Well, good. I wore my death row shirt because allegedly some Mavericks are on death row.
Damn. Oh my God. Damn.
Off the team, not in like real life.
Wow.
Figuratively.
Sheesh.
Gorilla, what's going on?
Two things. One, there is a giant Dirk head right behind mine. So
right.
Throughout this entire show, my head is going to be changing shapes.
Mhm.
But it's not real. It's just an illusion.
Ooh.
And two, in the minutes
Bless you.
before the show, I was
Bless
thinking
you.
about
Bless
how
you.
excited I am to go to the grocery store.
Why were you
later
excited to go to
today.
the grocery store?
I just am old. I think that's why. I'm excited to go to the grocery store years old.
Nothing says I'm washed more than when you go to an appliance store and you get giddy about the idea of buying a washer, dryer, or a brand new refrigerator. That was me and my wife a couple of months ago because we were so thrilled to go buy a new washer, dryer, and refrigerator.
As soon as I leave,
Or excuse me, a new refrigerator, I should say.
Last year for Christmas, I got a vacuum cleaner, but one of the like fancy ones.
That's
Like,
right.
Oh, wow.
I won't say the brand name. But it's like $200 or whatever, and then pots and pans for cleaning.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
wow.
great.
For cooking.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
Those are the best gifts.
I'm about to say,
I
what
was
pots and pans
stoked.
you cleaning with?
Yeah.
I was stoked. Like,
Yeah.
Vacuum cleaner.
the best
pots
gift
and
you can
pans, let's
get.
go.
Yeah.
Nothing says I'm more adult than buying appliances, pots, pans, dishes, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm going home, hopping in my car, going directly to the grocery store, spending probably an hour there just wandering around,
Nice, beautiful.
looking at stuff. I might
Tasting
even
a random
go
grape.
to 2 grocery stores. I might even make a second stop.
Oh, wow.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Anything's possible. We got no games all week. I got to do something.
We don't have any games until Friday when the Mavericks take on the Brooklyn Nets. That game will be tipping off at 7:30 p.m. with our pregame show at 6:45 on Friday. But, gentlemen, we've got a lot to get to because
Really?
yeah, we do.
Oh, wow. I missed it.
We are getting that much closer to trade season in the NBA. Yes, I know the NBA trade deadline is not until February 5th, but here in the next week or so, you can start to see teams maybe making moves here as guys become trade eligible as we get to mid-December and obviously into Christmas. And there was no shortage of news today, courtesy of ESPN, where their senior insider, Shams Charania, had a lot to say when it came to the Dallas Mavericks. And I'll just start it off by reading a quote verbatim so that you get the accurate information here in our podcast, where he says, quote, Dallas Mavericks forward Anthony Davis, another former NBA champion, is expected to be a critical trade target of several teams, including many of the Eastern Conference contenders. That includes the Detroit Pistons, Atlanta Hawks, and Toronto Raptors are expected to be suitors for Anthony Davis, league sources tell Shams Charania. He also goes on to say that the Mavericks are exploring the trade markets for not only Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Klay Thompson, and D'Angelo Russell as well, with him also saying that the Mavericks have recently met with, of course, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul And he has met with Matt Riccardi and Michael Finley, the co-general managers of your Dallas Mavericks. And Paul requested the meeting in order to clarify, hey, what's going on with my client, Anthony Davis? Are you going to give him a contract extension this upcoming summer, or are you going to trade him before the deadline? Because, Bobby Carell, I'll start with you on this. Anthony Davis, in early August, is eligible, check this out, boys and girls, for a 4-year, $275 million contract extension. That extension would pay him $76 million in his age 37 season. Let's just start there. Should the Mavericks trade Anthony Davis?
Much like the, 5-year, $300 million extension Kyrie was eligible before last summer, that we were like, there's no way AD is getting that max extension. That's just not going to happen. Regarding the other guys, it's really important to keep in mind that Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Dwight Powell, AD, Jaden Hardy, they're all represented by Clutch. And so for Daniel Gafford to be mentioned in there too, that does kind of, it stands out to me a little bit. But with AD, I mean, the question basically that the Mavs have to answer for themselves here over the next 2-3 months is this, I guess less than 2 months. Oh my God, it's already December.
That's right.
Is the one that we talked about on yesterday's show and a lot lately, which is if they trade AD, they are essentially waving the white flag on the season.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there are some trade scenarios, and we'll get into them in the next segment, so don't go anywhere. There are some scenarios where they can trade AD for players or a player that will keep them in contention for a playing spot. But most likely, the only reason they would trade AD is to get picks and expiring deals to reposition themselves for the summer and beyond. And, making that decision today is a little rash. I think the Mavs are probably right to, hold for a little bit. But I think Gafford, D'Angelo Russell, and Jaden Hardy too. Why not? Screw it. But with D'Lo in particular, there's no reason to wait because he's on a 1-year deal and he wants to go to a place where he can play. Like AD is the one where you got to make sure that if you're doing this, you're doing it for a good reason, for the right reason, and that you have no other choice than to pull the trigger on that trade. Because once you trade him, you can't trade back for him. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis, I won't say they should or should not trade him at this stage. What I will say is that when he has been on the court this season, he has been one of the probably 15 best players in the NBA. The problem is that in the Western Conference, all of the good players are also still in the conference, which means top 15 is your best player. It's not going to be good enough to win a title, and he's not going to get any better than he's been. He's probably going to either stay at this level or get worse as his career goes. The extension, I think, is absolutely insane. That's agent stuff. The agent has to say, hey, this is the maximum you can offer him. Will you offer it to him? Then the GM or co-GMs in this case are going to say, hey, we're not going to do that. Can we negotiate from this standard? And usually that's kind of how you come with a deal. As of right now, though, there's no extension, at least according to the Shams report, on the table for Anthony Davis with the Dallas Mavericks.
Nor should there be, frankly.
He's under contract.
Yeah.
Well, he does.
I don't understand why we're acting like he
why
has
we got to talk about an extension?
I don't even understand why.
For clarity and for accuracy, he does say in this piece, and again, for clarity and for accuracy, just for our conversation, he does say that, quote, the Mavericks have not ruled out the possibility of an extension. Now, you can do the wink thing if you want to. But that's
sure. The Mavs love their team. They love the boys in blue.
Exactly. Again, that's just for clarity and for accuracy.
And if I had to guess on an extension, I don't think there'll be an extension. I've heard nothing saying that there will be an extension, but I'm saying it based on the history of the NBA. If a player of this age, of that position, gets an extension, they're going to decline the player option and split that salary into 2 seasons or 3 seasons, and maybe he gets like a extra season at like 30 mil. Let's say. Like, let's say I think the player option is 62.
So if you wouldn't do that until next.
That's right.
You wouldn't do that this year, though.
It's 2027.
Yeah, that's 2027. If he decline, he could become a free agent in 2027 if he declines what would be a $62.8 million player option.
And he's not gonna do that.
I'd hit the go button on that too.
Yeah.
So basically, the only way that he quote unquote declines that if somehow you split that salary into 3s and you give him 30 mil, let's say, like for 3 seasons. So he basically gets an extra year for $30 million guarantee, like age 38 or something crazy like that. Chris Paul did that deal with the Phoenix Suns back in the day where they split the end of his contract. He got quote unquote less money that year so they can keep other players, but he got an extra year of guaranteed money. And guess what the Suns had to do? They had to dump him to the Washington Wizards, where he got rerouted to the Golden State Warriors, then where he got rerouted again 6 months later to another team. It usually doesn't age well, and Chris Paul is one of the 35 best players of all time.
Still way better than Chris Paul was at the time. Like,
Sure.
AD is still a really good player, whereas at the
trying to
time,
think.
Chris Paul was old. And, I mean,
He was coming off the finals, though. Look, that was the summer.
it was like 23, 24, I think.
Yeah,
They
he's
did
still.
that deal?
Yeah, and he was in his late 30s at that
Yeah,
point.
he was older. He was at least
whereas
4 or 5
AD
years older
is
than
still,
Anthony Davis.
I mean, he's still considered to be the kind of player that can either tilt the balance of power or certainly take your team up a level.
Especially in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that the teams mentioned were the Pistons, who were the 1 seed, the Raptors, who were the 3 seed, although it's pretty bunched up,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Hawks, who, I think we all expected a little better than what they've done so far, but
Sure.
they're still right there. It does seem like the Hawks or the Bulls would be the kind of team where it's like, we really should be better than we are right now.
Mhm.
Maybe we make a move, as opposed to the Raptors, who are having a really good season. Why would you
Mortgage your
Why is
future.
now the time?
Yeah.
They already
Yeah.
have a pretty good group of guys.
The question of should the Mavericks trade or would the Mavericks trade obviously are two different ones. Should they? In my humble opinion, the answer is yes. I mean, this is about math and about the next 2-3 years. Are you willing to sit here over the next 2-3 years as Anthony Davis continues to get older and watch the Oklahoma City Thunder and teams ahead of you continue to dominate the West as the roster gets more and more expensive? Or are you willing to take the crack at the 2026 NBA draft, get a younger, cheaper, talented player that you can start to build your future toward? That, to me, is the ultimate question because, look, the Mavericks are not dumb. The organization clearly understands the landscape and what's in front of them right now. It's going to be very difficult to compete at the top of the West in the immediate 2 to 3 year period. And if you're trying to do so, you're going to be taking the risk of keeping a player who will be turning 33 in March, and whether or not you're going to believe he's going to be reliable and available enough to play not only up to the top 20 player standard that he can, is he going to be available and healthy enough to do that consistently to give you a chance to be in the top 6 or top 4 of the West? To me, that answer is no. So what do you start to do? You start to get younger, you shed salary, and you acquire capital that you can maybe use to acquire other pieces, or put yourself in the best position to start building around Cooper Flagg earlier than waiting until later so you can get quicker to the top of the West, in my mind. So, again, I don't get paid to have to make that decision, but if I did, that would probably be the decision.
Well, there's no shortcuts.
There's no,
So
I mean, it's,
if you trade AD for a bunch of picks, it's a long road back to even where they are right now. That's the thing that I think is tough for a lot of Mavs fans to reconcile with, because there are a lot of Mavs fans, whether you like AD or not, you can look at him and say, that dude is a great player, and they have a lot of good players on this team. If you trade all of them for picks, you're going to suck for a while because you're not in control of any of the picks that you're getting. Like, they don't control their own destiny. And so if you want to be a playoff team next year, you're probably not going to find a trade for AD that you like. If you want to be a playoff team in 5 years, you could probably find a lot of AD trades that you like. So I think it really depends. And that's why I wish that they had an actual general manager right now and not an interim one, because this is a pretty important decision that these two guys are going to have to make that will directly influence the way that the next 5 years of this thing goes, if not beyond.
And to that point, Sharana goes on to say that Mavericks Governor Patrick Dumont has taken a patient approach since firing Nico Harrison and has relied on Michael Finley, Matt Riccardi, Jason Kidd, and yes, minority owner Mark Cuban as his front office core for now, giving Finley and Riccardi the power to lead conversations on the franchise's future. So there you go, as far as that's concerned. And the Mavericks still expected, he goes on to say, in the offseason to find a general manager. But the idea, more importantly for me, that the concept is Finley and Riccardi have been given what's looked like the power to make and shape the decisions that are going to be happening going forward here. So
yes, that is true. That's what I think everyone has heard if you're in the Mavs
Mhm.
building. The problem is no one knows how much power, no one knows to the extent of what. They have power to do things. The question is, what are those things and what is the limit on those things? Is that thing to find Anthony Davis trades kind of after that December 15th when a lot of the players kind of are tradable? Is that just like, hey, build around the margins until we kind of find someone permanent? Like, or are they looking like, hey, are these one of the guys? Let's see who comes up with the best solution. Whoever does that becomes the full-time GM. Like, no one, I think, has answers to that. I haven't seen that report. I haven't heard anything about that. That's kind of my biggest question is how much power?
Well, and like with superstar trades, you know, you're working with the agent and with the player. So let's be honest. You know, if the Mavs are really going to trade AD, there's probably 10 teams that AD's like, you're not trading me there.
Sure.
And Rich Paul's going to say
it's Rich Paul. Like,
yeah,
you're
and
not
so
gonna,
so you don't necessarily need.
He doesn't
a
have a no
GM,
trade clause, but he kind of has a de facto no trade.
It kind of
if you have Rich
works.
Paul, you kind of go where you.
Yeah, it's a collaborative thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, if your team's priority, again, if your team's priority is to just get picks, that changes the kind of teams you can deal with versus players. And that's why I want someone that is going to be invested in this thing for many years to make that decision, and not just, well, this is the easiest one, or this one looks pretty good on paper, or this one could save my job, or whatever. You know, you can make trades with role players and things like that, no problem. That's fine. But the big trade it's a little spooky to make it with interim guys in charge.
I mean, the idea could be that with Finley and McCarty making the decision here, they are the ones to kind of get quote unquote things cleaned up, so that by the time the new GM comes in, they are working with this brand new slate of, all right, this is what it is, and now you go forward and make do with what we've got here. And then McCarty and Finley, if they remain with the organization, obviously continue to help out the new general manager.
You've got to leave it in a situation that's appealing.
That's
like,
if
you want like a hot shot, big name GM, that dude is not taking over a team with 12 first round picks. And you know what I mean?
Nah,
like,
yeah, I agree.
That guy would want to come to a team with like some appealing young players and some stuff.
I mean,
you know, but if you get 3 lousy first round picks in 2031 and 2032 and 2035 or whatever, you know, you're not getting Masai out of semi-retirement to come in here and be like, I can do this. You know, you got to have something that's attractive to, unless you want a really young GM for the long haul, in which case you don't want stars, you want picks. So it really depends.
Could I entice you with the number 1 overall pick that's playing right now and potentially a top 5 pick in the 2026 class that's as deep as it's ever been?
Potentially a top 5 pick is not a top 5 pick.
I'm just saying, like, but if you're in that position,
well, if it's,
that could be attractive. That could be attractive to
like,
a GM.
we'll find out if you trade AD for expiring contracts and a first rounder in 2029. That's not. I'm not looking at this being like, oh my god, I'm going to paint a masterpiece. You know.
Yeah.
If I'm Masai or Bob Myers or any of the other big names,
sure.
I don't think I would be pretty shocked if it's like a big name GM, unless they just want to be a GM again. Like, it just kind of comes down to that. There's only 30 of these, so sometimes it like literally just comes down to that. Like, hey, how bad do you want this? It's not a guarantee that GM jobs just open. If you like decline one, you don't kind of know what's the next one. What if the next one is the Pelicans job in 2 years?
Ugh.
Like, that's not even, you're not in a bad situation there.
Yeah, Derek Queen, 30 points.
Like Derek
$4
Queen.
Joe Dumars looking like a genius.
Like, Tanner, it's a good thing we're not on fast today.
That's right.
We'll just see.
Because we're about to go to break.
But yeah. Anyway, it's only 30 of these, everybody.
I would, if we were, I would already been like, hey, come on.
You're like, cut it off. Like,
yeah, but we're not, so we can
Why
do
don't we
whatever
just
the
do
hell
one
we want.
long segment?
No, we're gonna go to break. We're gonna go to
break.
break. Let's go to break and pay the bills. When we come back, we're gonna put together some trades for Anthony Davis, and you're gonna play along too. We're gonna do that next. If you're a last-minute shopper just like me, I've got the perfect holiday gift for you during this holiday season, and it comes in the form of Aura frames. If you're looking to upload unlimited photos and video, you can do so in just minutes by downloading the Aura app. You can preload photos before it ships as well, so you can keep adding it from anywhere at any time. You can share photos and videos effortlessly as well, straight from your phone, and it comes with a beautiful gift box as well, so you don't have to go out looking for a perfect gift box or wrapping to be able to give your gift of this season. You can't wrap together this, but you can certainly frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code DLLS at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code DLLS. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Remember, terms and conditions apply.
Bad trade machine ideas are just like investments and credit card accounts, portfolios and retirement funds. We all got them. Okay. Unlike trade machine ideas, though, where you can just put them in our chat, if you have all these different things that you're spending your money on, they usually reside in a million different places, but not if you use our friends at Monarch. It's your personal financial command center. All of your credit accounts, all of your investment accounts, your entire portfolio, your expenses, and even some financial goals that you can set for yourself all reside in this one easy-to-use dashboard. It lays it all out very easily for you. When I spend too much money, either at the drive-thru, at the bar, on technology, whatever, Monarch is reminding me, hey, you're exceeding your budget right now. You should probably scale back. Or sometimes I save a little bit, and they're like, hey, good job. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DLLS at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. Again, that's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code DLLS.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs podcast. Appreciate you joining us here on today's episode as we dive into the existential question. I think I got that word right. Should the Mavericks trade Anthony Davis? Our resident analyst, Bobby Carell, has cooked up some hot AD trades to see if you, I, and we would be down for them.
Yeah, I have 3, and then we actually are gonna go to the Fanspo trade machine and build our own as well. So if you hate my ideas, don't worry.
Leave them in the chat.
Yeah, leave them in the chat.
And we'll hate. We'll give you more trades to hate.
Yeah. So, Tanner, do you have all 3? Can you see the file names?
Yes.
Can we start with the Pistons one?
Here we go.
So the Pistons are number 1 in the East. They're not going to want to trade, like, they're good players. They're just not going to want to for
not
AD.
bad.
So the Pistons trade that I assembled is sending AD and D'Angelo Russell to the Pistons for Tobias Harris, who has a $27 million-ish expiring contract. Isaiah Stewart, who would become excess for the Pistons in the event that they get AD, but I think Stewart's, he's definitely playable here. And a Ron. We get 2 Rons in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
I'll take it.
Ron Holland, not Harad, but Holland, and a first rounder in 2027 and 2029. I have no idea if that trade is good or not. I just was like, man, whatever. This seems like they need about 2 first-round picks to get this done. You can add protections if you want. I don't care. But this does work financially. It actually saves the Mavs almost $10 million on the apron, which allows them then to sign Ryan Nembhard.
Oh, wow. There we go.
They could give Ryan Nembhard a big, fat, juicy contract. That is what I need more than anything. So it's kind of a multi-purpose trade.
Ron says that he would do that trade. Galkajan says, no, not you.
I was like, I didn't say anything. Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I don't know how to value first rounders. Maybe the Pistons are like, man, screw that. We don't want to give you any firsts.
No,
maybe they're like, we'll give you 12.
I
have no idea. I just want to preface that.
I'm be honest. If I'm the Mavericks, I make that trade. And I make that trade because, one, you get Ron Holland, who I'm not going to act like that was my absolute favorite prospect in that class. But at the end of the day, he's a young wing. And
he's from here.
He went Duncanville High School, win a championship here, a state title here. You need some type of young asset too. If you can get the young first-round pick, I'm not saying that he might be a great player, but if you believe in your player development system, which your GM, you probably should, right? You basically get like a younger wing that's crazy athletic. And Stu is 24 years old. It's not like he's like an old person. Like Stu is technically a young player that does fit the timeline of Cooper Flagg. He's like a crazy, nasty enforcer who allegedly Klay Thompson can't be that according to the broadcast. So the opposing broadcast. So Stu, I think, will be good. And then you get first. Like, just the first are a win. 2027, the Mavs, again, they need a first for that year. So it'd be nice, even if it's not a great first-round pick, to have something.
And the idea of acquiring capital would be maybe not necessarily to use it to pick someone, but the ability to use it as bargaining chips to maybe go get other pieces. So the more picks that I can acquire, whether it be a 27 or another 29 first-round pick, I can begin to move those for other pieces to make it attractive. I think people get caught up in the idea, I don't want to get draft capital because who knows what that draft pick will look like 4 or 5 years. It's about, can you use that to go get other pieces? Ask the Clippers how that worked out by acquiring additional picks as the years went on. Or is it Thunder, I should say.
All right, so that was a banger trade. Thanks, everybody. I think the last time I did some fake trades, everyone's like, Bobby, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, get this guy
They
off
want you to
the
throw
air.
Jaden Ivey in there.
They
want,
always say, people always say
I don't know if
fake
the Pistons
trades.
would do that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I was the
No,
Mavs,
if you
I'd
throw
be
Ivy,
interested,
it's just like
Yeah.
all right, let's run through the next two in one go. So this one, it's two trades with the Hawks, one that is more pick oriented and one that is not. The first one is AD for Kristaps Porzingis. He's back, folks. Kevin Gray's favorite player in the NBA.
Hey.
You love saying his name.
I just love saying his name.
What's his name?
Zachary Ricochet.
There you go.
That's right.
A 2026 first rounder at swap rights. It's basically going to be the Spurs' first rounder. And then 2028 first rounder, it would be, God, it's like Atlanta has the right to swap with Cleveland. So basically it would become, I don't know. It's probably going to be Cleveland's first rounder. I have no idea. There's way too many freaking, but it's just swaps. And those are important because in 2026, obviously you get a first round pick. That's great. In 2028, the Mavs are probably going to be picking 30th. So getting another first rounder, even if it's a late first rounder, would be pretty good. So that's a more pick youthful one. And then KP's expiring contract. But also let's get weird. All right. With
People
the next
like
one.
this one so far.
People don't like it.
No, they do. You got
they do?
a beautiful Hawks trade, a cooking.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I think Ricochet with 2 1s might be too much, but they're both
Yeah.
bad ones.
Yeah.
They're bad. The Spurs' one is like 25.
They're not great first.
And I don't think
You need
Atlanta's
some first.
I don't think
Doesn't
Atlanta's trading Ricochet.
Now, this one, it says that it's unsuccessful, but that's because you can't do the trade before December 15th. But otherwise, it does work. Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell to the Hawks for Luke Kennard and former Dallas Maverick Trae Young. Welcome back home, Ice Trae.
Oh no!
Welcome back to Dallas. And it's just straight up no picks.
Get picks. Ricochet is a shooter, 3-and-D. I'm not saying this is like a future All-Star because I actually don't think he has that ceiling, even though he was #1 pick. 3-and-D shooter. He can pair with Flagg. He actually is like a legit small forward. You probably move Flagg to the 4, like later as they grow in their careers together. Clearly, pjwashington's here currently, but eventually you have Ricochet as your 3. You have cooperflagg as your 4. That's some really strong wings to have with picks. I like it. With Trae Young, though, you can't give. They're not gonna give up Trae Young and picks. It's just not gonna happen. Probably. Maybe one.
I don't think the Hawks. I'm not sure how they feel about Ricochet. I don't think those ones matter. They got a lot of ones coming their way, so I feel like those are the kind of their worst ones. If they do want AD, I think the Ricochet one could actually possibly happen. Maybe. Probably
I think
not,
they
maybe
like
not,
Ricochet. I think so.
He's
turning.
not
been
great so far.
Yeah, he's okay.
This year's been much better.
He's not that. He's shooting under 30% for 3. He's averaging 11 a game.
Yeah, it's not. It's not good. But we're talking about long-term aspects. The Mavs can wait. The Hawks cannot, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, they got Jalen. I just don't know why the Hawks would want AD because Jalen Johnson is completely balling out of his mind.
Yeah.
And you have Okongwu still, so unless AD is going to be your 5, which don't tell the Hawks this, but he doesn't want to play the 5.
I mean, of the 2 trades there, I would do the first one. The second one becomes very interesting because the Hawks and Trae Young have not come to an agreement, obviously, on a new contract extension. Trae Young's in the final year of his contract there. The question would be, if you trade for Trae Young, are you, one, going to sign him to an extension? And if you do, what does that mean for the current almost 34-year-old point guard or guard that you have that's coming off a torn ACL? Who's making over $40 million?
Well, he's gone. You turn around and trade him again.
That's what I'm saying. Are you willing, if you trade for Trae Young,
Yeah.
are you then saying goodbye to Kyrie Irving?
No, you probably just trade Trae.
You would trade him again?
Yeah, why not? You're saying Kyrie's not playing this year. Trae, come put up stats, and we'll trade you.
I would probably
If
take
I
the
had
younger.
to guess, it'd be a 4-team trade, and Kyrie Irving will be they wouldn't even make the trade without Kyrie Irving already be going somewhere else. In my personal opinion,
There is a Hawks fan in the chat. DMAC says the Hawks don't want AD. As a Hawks fan, this word is funny. The Hawks don't want AD. Trust me. So maybe
trust me is hilarious.
I know source trust me, but
Source,
also
trust me, bro.
maybe the Hawks don't. And if so, but that's the thing. That's the thing with these superstar trade rumors is that like you'll have a reporter just throw out some team names that could be interested, and it's like, wait a minute, that's news to us. We're interested in that
Right,
guy.
exactly.
I don't know about that.
All right, so let's build one. We've gotten the ones that we've gotten from our guy Bobby Curl, so let's build one before we take our next break here and do so live.
All right, so we got Fanspo up on screen. So I mean, we could
Bear
try
with
and
me.
show why a Raptors trade is impossible if you want, or we could do literally anything else. I don't know. Up to you guys. We also don't even need to trade AD. We could trade Daniel Gafford if you want. We can do anything.
I'll throw this out just to see how it lands on you guys. So Terry Rozier's got a very interesting situation with the Miami Heat. He was arraigned in court yesterday with the whole,
interesting.
the stuff.
It's alleged.
But he also has a near $28 million expiring contract.
Good money.
So if, let's just say the NBA is like, yes, you can trade Terry Rozier, would you be willing to move Anthony Davis to the Miami Heat and take on Terry Rozier's expiring contract with some other things? Like, what would you add to a potential Miami Heat trade?
Who would they give up though? Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why
probably Hero.
Build it live. Yeah. No, they're not getting rid of Tyler Hero. I think they keep it Tyler Hero.
So the Mavs could take Andrew Wiggins in that deal.
Okay.
I mean, Norman Powell's expiring.
They
There's
need
no
big
reason.
money. They still need another salary.
Yeah.
I mean, Fontecchio, I
I've
think is kind
tried
of
the Heat
interesting.
before.
They're not going to
It's
trade
really hard
Killaware.
to make this
They're
trade
not
work.
trading Killaware.
They're not trading.
Would you be interested in a Jaime Jaquez?
Oh yeah, but the Heat are like every player on the Heat that's under 27. They're like, this guy's going to be a superstar. We are not trading him.
That's a great
no
point,
matter
yes.
what.
They wouldn't even trade for like when Dame was like in his prime.
Yeah, they were like the Heat refused to include Jaquez and Damian
In the
Lillard.
Dame
That's
trade.
that is
like,
true.
Okay,
That's a great point.
whatever,
That is
dude.
true.
Like,
Fair
fine.
Riley, man.
Now Jaquez is a good player, but
Come on.
So
To
right
get the
now,
money
is
to work, what they have to do, like Bam or Tyler?
I think it has
Hero?
to be Hero. I think
So I know
literally
they're
it has
not.
to be
That's-
so
Hero.
the
I'm
rules
like-
are the Mavs have to take back. I don't know what the Heat. Can you scroll up, Tanner?
The Heat are in the apron.
So the Heat are over the cap. They're not hard capped, but they have to stay under the second apron. So the Heat can't take back more than $8 million than they send out.
Okay.
So the Heat have to send out at least $46 million. Terry Rozier makes 26.6. So they got to send out another
Hero.
$19-20 million.
So I could get you
Oh, Wiggins.
It
Wiggins.
would be Wiggins.
Wiggins, Rozier's expiring.
But and
they
that's
didn't wanna
almost
trade
dollar.
Wiggins.
That's almost dollar for dollar. But it actually does put more money on the Mavs payroll.
So would you take? So who are you sending out as with Dallas then?
Well, so I mean, do you want to get wild and add Hero? Just say we're getting Hero and Rozier, and then we'll give Miami something.
Because Rozier's not even like a real player. It's like
Okay, let's play it
it's
out.
a salary.
All right, so
Okay.
throw in Hero.
Okay.
So that's $57 million. The Mavs now have to send out at least $3 million. Do you
See
think
ya, Jaden.
Do you think Miami would want D'Angelo Russell? I bet D'Angelo Russell would love
I
Miami.
bet he would love Miami.
Jaden Hardy.
Do you think Miami would want?
You can send Jaden Hardy and Caleb Martin back.
Do you think
can send-
Miami would want
and
Caleb Martin?
Martin?
You
Yeah.
can say him
Caleb
back
Martin,
to
you're
Miami.
including the pick, brother.
You're not.
I'm sorry to tell you.
Miami would be like, we really don't want Jaden Hardy. Please.
So let's say
Well,
Caleb
Caleb
Martin.
Martin was there, but
They know the player. Yeah.
That's. I don't know.
let's do it for the sake of the plot. Let's Caleb Martin. Let's just do it for the sake of
Okay.
the plot.
All right. So
See if it works.
let's try the trade
All right.
and see if it works.
It's probably
Ignore all the ads.
No.
Hey, it works. How many wins? It makes the
Minus
Mavs
one.
better.
Oh wow.
plus one is
Plus-
hilarious, bro.
It
So
makes the
I
Mavs
don't
better.
think it's factoring in that Rozier is not playing. So
That's a great point.
No, I mean it doesn't factor in that. And to be fair, you probably don't
So
want him playing,
basically, that's an AD for Tyler Hero trade,
which is nasty.
basically straight up. Which if
Who's-
I'm Miami,
No,
I don't know. I don't know why Miami would make.
Miami
this
would
trade.
not do this.
Miami would win the trade though.
I don't think that they would.
Tyler Hero's not a top 50 player in the NBA. What are we doing here?
No, wait a
This is
minute.
like this
now.
is
Wait
basically like
wait
a
minute.
6-man on
Wait
a good team.
No,
For a top
wait
50
a minute. We're talking about a
Miami
former all-star.
runs away. They're running to the bank with this trade. Tyler Hero's not a top 50 player in the NBA. Everybody.
Ozzy D asked a good question.
last year.
Ozzy D with the
Tyler Hero has a good
499
song
super.
named after him.
If we trade
That's
for
the best thing he's
Rozier
done.
and he goes to prison, does that void his contract and free up our cap situation?
That's what I'm saying.
He's
like,
expiring.
his
It doesn't
int-
matter.
His situation is so interesting because there's a debate on whether or not he could be a guy that's included in trades because, again, he's not playing. His contract is expiring. There isn't rules saying that you couldn't necessarily trade him if you decide to do it. So I think it's very interesting, but I don't think
He's an
Miami.
expiring contract, which is why I don't think the NBA would step in. It's not like they have
well,
to worry
you're,
about this
you're
next
fudging
year.
numbers at that point.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
you're trading fake money for a real player.
Well,
Like-
Is
Yeah.
he not actually getting paid right now?
Well, the NBA is determining whether they will void his contract.
Oh,
right.
okay. Well,
This
that's
is all
different.
alleged.
If it's
Yeah,
void.
that's-
Now,
Yeah.
all of this is to say nothing. Now, that's just one thing. We could
Okay.
spend
We
all
could-
week
yeah.
doing this. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
maybe we should just maybe we should just keep
Let's
going.
keep going for
I
the
think
next
we
If
segment.
you want, man,
We
we
can do
can.
a little bit more.
Yeah,
We
let's
only
do
got
more.
to do
All right.
one.
Yeah, let's hit
And
a
it was
break.
a success. We
'Cause
want to
this-
show some that are
This is
hard.
also
This
to
is
say that
interesting.
we
This is
could
fun.
we could include Clay, we can include Gafford, we could make it a 3-team trade. We could do a lot of stuff. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going on the other side of the break.
Oh, my bad. Give me a second.
I
Give
love
Tanner
everyone.
a second.
We're gonna do more fake trades for Anthony Davis and more.
They are not real.
coming up next.
No, they are very real.
They are not real.
Have you ever wanted to be a Major League Baseball player? Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams on the diamond? Well, Rangers Fantasy Camp can help you out this season. We've got good news. The Texas Rangers Fantasy Camp presented by National Car Rental is your opportunity to live out those dreams, taking place on January 7th through 11th at Rangers Spring Training Facility in Surprise, Arizona. Rangers Fantasy Camp is the dream experience for any die-hard Rangers fan. Across 5 unforgettable days, campers will be treated like a big leaguer, from custom Rangers uniforms, professional grade equipment, and access to full clubhouse amenities and post-game happy hours as well. The entire whole 9 yards. And the best part, you'll enjoy hands-on guidance and encouragement for some of the best players to ever don a Rangers uniform, including Hall of Famer Yvonne Pudge Rodriguez and also Fergie Jenkins, with a lot more alumni announcements to come along the way. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that you won't want to miss. Spots are limited and going fast as well, so secure yours today at rangers.com/fantasycamp. That's rangers.com/fantasycamp today.
Are you ready to have a splendid time with your comrades? Do you want to be smiling, laughing, nodding your head, but you also want to wake up in the next morning and still be smiling, laughing, and nodding your head? Well, Michelob Ultra is your brand. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra only has 2.6 carbs, everybody. 95 calories. Is you're going to have a good time, not wake up feeling terrible, and if you're someone that participates in some athletic activities, the next day you're more likely to be able to keep doing that. Your gains will not be lost with Michelob Ultra. It's a superior, smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the NBA. Make sure that you all are looking for it, because if you do have it, you will continue having a good time with your comrades.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon as we continue to dive into the questions on whether or not the Mavericks should trade Anthony Davis, among other players, as the noise continuing to get louder, even as the Mavericks are on the practice floor today ahead of their game on Friday when they take on the Brooklyn Nets. Tip-off at 7:30 with our pregame show beginning at 6:45 p.m. right here on DLLS Sports. In our last segment, we were building some fake Anthony Davis trades. We explored the Miami Heat and their potential situation. A lot of folks were saying they wanted Nikola Jovic as a part of a deal with if the Mavericks traded if the Mavs traded Anthony Davis to the Miami Heat. Let's continue to build some other ones, and let's add some other players. Maybe bring in some other teams as well, because there are other names potentially on the move, whether it's Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford, D'Angelo Russell as well. Daniel Gafford is very interesting because I think he's got a lot of value around the league for guys or for teams that need a quality big who's on a very friendly contract. Is making $18 million.
Are we sure it's friendly contract?
Who are we talking about? Daniel Gafford?
I mean, it's less than $20 million for a.
Has that guy been worth even $14 million? His contract is about to go up to 18. Has he been worth $14 million this year?
I mean, he
This
hasn't been
year,
able to,
no.
I mean, no, but I think once he gets healthy, I think he's a $16, $18 million.
I think if he's
big
playing
man.
with Luka Doncic, he's worth $18 million.
Oh, you trying to trade him to the Lakers?
No, I'm just saying, Luka, like that type of player. If he's with Kate Cunningham, if he was with Luka, he has to be with like S tier playmaker.
He instantly be the best big man.
What teams need a big?
The Golden State Warriors need a big man desperately.
All right, let's
Do
try
they
and
need
let's
a big,
try and
though?
get Gafford
Yes.
to the Warriors.
Yeah,
Like Quentin Post has been good for them though.
Daniel Gafford will instantly become their best big man.
He's not better than Quentin Post right now.
Oh, we're not gonna do that.
He's not.
So Gaff makes what, $14 million per year? So the Warriors obviously need to send out essentially matching salary. I don't even think
They
they
have
can,
salary. I mean, they have two. Like they have. Too
I don't
many
think they
big
can
salaries.
take back more than they send out. I think they have to send out more than they take back, which makes this
Well,
very
Moses
difficult.
Moody should be the number
Yeah,
one
because
person.
the Warriors are deep within the second apron right now.
So what does Moses Moody make? Like,
Moody makes 11.5, so that trade would not work for the Warriors. They would have to send out more money.
You probably have to get a third team involved.
So the trade that Bill Simmons did, we can't just recreate that.
Yeah,
one,
no. I wasn't thinking about that.
That's
I was
just
just saying
plagiarism. But
yeah.
We can.
I don't think that dealing with the Warriors, I don't think it would be very easy. I just don't think it'd be very easy. I'm looking around the league. I mean, the Hawks, well, they need AD. I guess if they're going to make a trade. The Bulls, honestly.
Bulls because he's a big man. Yeah.
They can use a big. They did trade Gafford, though, originally.
Yeah, but
Same
I mean,
GM
bygones be bygones.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Don't
Don't worry about it. That's a long time ago.
I mean, there's also a case to be made to look for Clay trades.
Okay.
But I think, let's be honest, the team that he's would want to go to probably plays in LA.
And we're not talking about the Clippers.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Clippers.
And we're not talking about the Warriors.
And so I'm not sure.
We're
I'm not sure that the Mavs are going to do business with the Lakers like ever again after what just happened.
Let's do it for kicks. What would you want from a Clay trade?
So Clay makes
to the
what does
Lakers?
Clay make? Like 16 point something?
Almost 16.6
million.
Yeah.
So it's almost dollar for dollar with Rui Hachimura, but the Mavs would not be able to make that trade. They cannot take back that much money more. They could take like Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Connect. But why?
Nasty ball. Nasty.
Yeah, and why would
No.
why would you want to do that? But it
Vando
does work.
Vando is.
Do the Lakers have picks? I mean, there's no way they would give up a first rounder for Clay, right?
It's no way.
Or would they? They could trade their 2031 first round pick. Would you trade Klay Thompson
100%
for Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect, and a 2031 first round
if the
pick?
picks included 100%.
All right,
30
put the trade together. 2031 unprotected first rounder for Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect, and a first round pick. Sarah, our resident LA spy,
That's right.
says the Lakers would not make that trade.
I wouldn't do that
make
either.
that trade.
Yeah.
I don't think they would either. You're not
Only
giving
reason
up
why
a
they
first rounder for
consider
Clay.
it is because he's under contract.
That 2032 second rounder they might give up because
And that was all for Clay? Is that
Just
right?
for Clay
That was
Thompson.
just for Klay Thompson.
There's no way they would.
Well, Vando and Dalton.
Well,
aren't
the
really.
thing about it
Those
is
are
because
negative
Clay's
assets.
Vando's
money.
bad money. Vando's
Those
bad
are
money.
negative
Yeah,
assets.
yeah.
They kind of have to give up
Yeah.
something to get off.
And it
Vando.
actually makes the Lakers worse. So we should make that trade.
This is
Well,
success
unless-
for them.
I'm calling
Do
them
you
right
forget
now.
who plays for the Lakers?
Well, no, it just says that makes them one win worse. So I think it's a good trade for the Mavs.
That wasn't Bobby's,
Okay.
that wasn't Bobby's opinion.
Yeah, right.
Bobby's saying
the math and the numbers say they get worse.
I don't know of many. I don't think I bet the Lakers would be interested in Clay just because they're the Lakers, but I don't know of many or really any good teams that are like we are a Clay away. You know, that would do what the Mavs said last year, which I think at that point the Mavs were. I mean, there was reason to believe that. I don't know that any team that trades for Clay is like, man, we are getting so much better by doing this right now.
No, because he wouldn't be starting for the Lakers in this case. And yeah, Vando's falling out of the rotation for them, and Dalton Connect.
Oh, it's just straight up bad money.
Yeah, this is money.
No,
It's a
you're
money
making
play.
this trade for the first round pick.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
it.
players are irrelevant. It's
With
salary
Clay,
dump. It's
Clay is
dumping
not fetching
salary.
a first round pick in the year of our Lord 2025. It's just not happening.
I mean, those are bad contracts for the Lakers, though. Like Vando's a bad deal.
Yeah,
The only reason why I think the Lakers would consider it is because, again, Gafford is under contract, which means you don't have to like this is kind of, what the money you're getting. It's now, okay, we're pairing him with Luka and probably Reeves. And you're not, now Aiden kind of doesn't have any leverage now.
What are those Lakers first round picks again?
I think it's 31, 32.
Oh, so those
They
aren't
can't
until
trade.
the
They can't trade,
2030s?
like,
The Lakers
anything
can
before
only
that.
trade a 2031 first.
Yeah,
round
it's
pick.
like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
it shows
it's-
that they own those other first round picks, but they can't actually trade them.
so yeah, 2030.
They could
okay.
trade. They could trade swaps,
Oh, okay. So they can do swaps. Okay.
but unfortunately, no one is going to make swap picks with the Mavs
wow, we
because
got
all their
so
swaps
far.
are
I
owned by
hate
good
all
teams.
these
That's
trades.
right. Exactly. That's true.
I don't want
That's
somebody to come back that only makes 11 points per game, 4 points. Ron Holland seems like
No, of course the Mavs don't want Vando, Johnny, but
No, of course not.
that's basically the tax for getting the first rounder. So
Right.
at that point, they would have 2 unprotected ones in 2031, which that could have value in a hypothetical trade
long-term
with-
scenario.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Flag is what, 24, 5? Like,
Well, no, you'd trade those picks before then for sure.
Oh, well.
You'd say like go into like next summer, the summer after, and be like, how about these 2 distant, call up the Wizards,
Yeah.
or call up the Thunder, and say, hey, give us who's a good player on their team.
Give us AJ Mitchell for
Sarah
this.
says the Lakers will do it if you send the wing and Gafford
All
Give
right.
it Martin.
Well, let's get Gafford to the Lakers.
in exchange for.
So let's go Gafford and Clay. All right.
Oh wow.
Gafford and Clay. I got the deal.
That's fine
Okay.
actually, for Los
For
Angeles.
Rui
Okay.
Expiring to my knowledge.
and Jared Vanderbilt
Okay.
and the 2031 first round pick.
Okay.
I don't know that the Lakers would do that. I think they'd say this is really stupid, and they'd say no to that. But
I think they would do that actually.
Rui is playing for them,
He's
and Aiden's
expiring,
giving them.
though.
Fail.
Why has it failed? Why are you booing me?
It says it's
I
failed.
think, I think booing Bob.
Scroll down; it shows why.
Yeah, it might be the because Rui.
You are
Hard cap.
over the allowable incoming amount. Oh, okay.
1 mil.
Never mind.
Okay.
I didn't know the Lakers were that close to the apron, so it's really tough to.
But
yeah.
something around that.
And which, honestly, if you're the Lakers, you're probably looking for more of a point of attack defender anyway.
Agreed.
At the trade deadline.
And the Mavs don't really have that.
And the
to
Mavericks
give
don't
them.
have one of those. And the Lakers will have a bunch of cap space this upcoming summer, too, that they got to figure out what they're going to do, especially with Austin Reeves, who's making himself a ton of cash right now. Johnny says Kleber for and Connect for Clay.
The Mavs at this point have no use for Maxey. That'll
None.
just be for expiring.
I mean,
which
that
I
point,
get,
you're just
but
throwing poo at the wall.
well, you're saving money off your books, but
Yeah.
that's not
For what, a season? Congrats.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's saving because right now they're already projected to be in the second apron next year before they make a draft pick.
Yeah.
So like they need to make money disappear.
Good God.
And Kleber's contract will come immediately off the books because he's in the final year. That was that 3-year, $33 million deal.
Yeah,
So his is
Yeah.
expiring.
and I mean there
And
is
Clay for
value to
Dalton
that.
doesn't work straight up. I mean, I think.
Well, you need Maxey to make the.
I mean,
money
somebody in the comments says Clay for Dalton in the pick. Like, that just doesn't
Oh, okay.
work.
work. Yeah.
Clay to Orlando.
Sarah says send Maxey home.
I mean, Orlando could use a shooter, but I also saw somebody say Franz for 80 straight up. The Magic would like laugh.
Oh, I would do that.
The Magic would like laugh.
Wait, say that again.
And throw
Who?
the phone.
Franz Wagner straight up for Anthony
for
Davis.
Anthony Davis.
Franz hurt right now again. Unfortunately, he got hurt. He's gonna be out for a little bit.
See, yeah, because I see people being like, I don't like these trades, and it's kind of like, well, it's
People-
because
I mean, this is kind of an exercise, and this is why
Yes.
it's going to be really tough
This is
to
gonna
trade
be
these
yes.
guys. And,
Yes.
the
and
point-
why it's kind of easier to make deals in the offseason because also with all of these trades, you can't make a trade legally and go under, I think it's even 13, but definitely 12 players on your roster. And the Mavs also can't make trades and bring back more than 15 players. Then they'd have to buy a bunch of guys out or waive them, cut them, reroute them, whatever. It is really, really tough to make a trade with a player that makes as much money as AD does, unless it's for another player that makes that much money, which is why the AD for Trey thing is, people are going to be talking about that for a while. Yeah, it's really tough. Being a GM is not easy. Being a GM is not easy. It's easy for us to sit here and say, you're doing a bad job. It's a lot harder for us to be in the chair and say, I think this would work. And I think the other team would say yes to this.
And you think about the other mitigating factors with this too is that are you trying to get a deal done for Anthony Davis specifically before he potentially gets hurt again? Because then if he gets hurt before you get the chance to trade him, now I mean trade values you're gonna have to wait till the summer, and then you have you're running up against the idea of by the way that 2026 NBA draft is coming. Can we get younger? Can we get cheaper? How do we do that while still building around Cooper Flagg, and what does that mean for other veterans who may want to in their careers elsewhere with a chance to compete? Because once you, like Bobby said earlier, once you make the move for Anthony Davis, your window for competition 3-4 years, yeah, that's pretty much over with. I mean, Oklahoma City kind of making it pretty much over right now as it is anyway. But
Unless you trade him for a good player,
unless you trade,
Okay,
so before we take a break, so even if you trade a player for a good player in exchange for Anthony Davis, how much closer does that get you to where the landscape of the West is right now? Because I don't know if that gets you any. Like, if you trade Anthony Davis for Trae Young right now, does Trae Young get you any closer to competing in this West this year, next year, or the year after?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're probably not getting significantly better this year, so you're still probably going to get a pretty good pick.
So
He's also hurt, so he'd be hurt for the season.
that's what I mean.
for a
That's
stretch.
why it makes it so difficult because you gotta. We'll talk about
It's
this.
tough.
Later. Yeah,
It's tough.
it's very tough.
Being a GM, not as easy as it looks, everybody.
I've always said, look, if you're not competing at the top, you got to race to the bottom. but they're
they can't be bad. There's no reason to be bad.
They can't be
and
bad.
the Washington Wizards, the Charlotte Hornets, a lot of these teams have tried that race to the bottom.
Well, they're running a
not
marathon.
as it looks.
Yeah, their
sounds
race
good.
Their race will never end. Their race is going to be ongoing for millennia.
We'll talk more about this next. But we want you to become part of our DLLS sports family. You know why? Because we won't trade you. We won't trade you at all. You go to alldlls.com to become a diehard member right now. And when you do, you get 20% off of our events. You can scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now. You get 20% off events. You get a free t-shirt upon sign up. You get merchandise discounts as well. And you get access to our premium content available through all of our DLLS beat writers, including now with our store.allcitynetwork.com. When you visit there, you can check out our ALLCITY headwear. New styles available right now. Make sure you check them out. We've got a beautiful set of new hats courtesy of Branded Bills. So go to store.allcitynetwork.com. We've got colorways when it comes to your Stars, your Mavericks, Cowboys as well. So make sure you check it all out at store.allcitynetwork.com, and you can get a tremendous selection for the perfect holiday gift for the DFW sports fan in your life. If you're looking for some last minute gifts or just some really cool merchandise, store.allcitynetwork.com has you covered with the hottest DLLS sports merchandise.
You talk about the hats?
I did talk about the hats.
We got hats.
That's right.
The mitts.
I literally just talked about the hats.
Yeah, it was there.
So I was locked in on Slack DMs.
That's right. You were burying your head in your computer.
Yeah.
That was up.
Mark DeRosa just did a press conference about the World Baseball Classic. That will be on our YouTube channel soon.
Shout out to our guy Jeff Wilson, who was in Orlando for the winter meetings as money getting spent already. Will the Rangers, damn it, spend some money like the Los Angeles Dodgers? You see what the Dodgers did today?
Edwin Diaz.
That's right. They signed one of the best closers in baseball. Come on, Ray. Spend the money, damn it. Spend the money. You can follow the Rangers coverage here on DLLS Sports at alldlls.com. Become a diehard and check out Jeff Wilson's stuff today.
We do super chats now.
We got some super chats. We're going to do some. Let's jump into them. We did Ozzy's earlier. Ozzy came back in with another.
Big Ozzy.
This guy knows ball. He knows ball.
We just need the money to sign Ryan Nimbenyama.
That's right.
Nimbenyama.
That's right.
That's a hard last name.
You got to open up max cap space for Nemby.
Yeah.
Sarah, shout out to Sarah. We love Sarah. We're going to come and see you soon, Sarah, for sure. $1.99 super chat. Fun podcast, boys. Rock on. Rock on. Let's go.
I forgot. You put the thumb.
Have you ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
No.
Do you even know what that is?
I don't.
Didn't think so.
Their handshake is they kind of like look at each other and they do a little air guitar.
That's right.
But then an actual electric guitar riff plays. Yeah. And it's if you watch the movie, you'll know how funny it is.
I mean, and Bobby, you continue to bring up the point, which is very true, is that you cannot tank after, quote unquote, if you do so or whatever, after this year because you don't have control of your pick. So it doesn't benefit you to be bad, which is why I think so many fans are like, look, do it now and then go for it after into the 2026 year and beyond, because the better you are, the worse those picks will be for the teams that have control over your picks. So,
which is why trading AD for a bunch of flotsam and jetsam is not necessarily a good idea, because then you're gonna be bad for 5 years.
Yes,
and you're not gonna benefit at all from that. Like,
right.
The only reason you want to win is so that you can win the title. The only reason you want to lose is so that you can get the number one pick. Like, that is the only incentive to lose in professional sports, right? In American professional sports, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have your draft picks, then you have no reason to lose. You want to win.
Yeah.
So sure, you want to be bad in 2025 up until like May 15th, 2026, and then it's go time. And so if you're making any trade, and that goes for Gafford, that goes for Clay, D'Lo, anyone else on the team, if it makes you worse next season, I'm not interested. I'm just not really all that interested, unless it's giving me a first rounder that I can use in a trade soon. But that it's really, really tough to actually pull off those moves.
And they did the hardest part, which is for the second time in 7 years, you got a top flight pick And this time it happened to be the number 1 overall pick in Cooper Flagg. The clock immediately begins when you have that type of player. How quickly can you build around that type of guy to maximize your window for winning? That was the problem this team faced and successfully solved when they were able to build around Luka. Now, obviously, that took 6 years to do it. How much quicker can you make that clock go with Cooper Flagg, who's 18, and what means will you utilize to get there? That is, to me, the biggest question facing this front office is, how do we now find a way with the prospect or the player that we have to make sure that we build quicker around this talent than we did with the first one that we have, so that the window can be open as long as possible?
But they made the all-in move getting KP the first time,
and it didn't
with
work.
Luka, and it didn't really work. And then now they were kind of stuck. Now again, they were able to pivot a couple times. One of them was capitalizing on an extraordinary circumstance that made Kyrie available, and the other one was they nailed a second-round pick in JB so perfectly that he was able to step up, and Spencer Dinwiddie had the run of his lifetime, and they were able to go to the conference final. But you don't want to be a team that has to catch lightning in a bottle to compete. You want to build something sustainable, and that's why pushing your chips closer to the center of the table whenever you're in this kind of situation with one superstar that's out, one superstar that's always in and out, and another one that might be a superstar one day but he's 18 it's a little premature to try and do anything all in right now. You wish you had a little more time. Don't we all wish we just always had more time?
Yeah, it's the Mavs are in a tough place. I'm just reading some of the comments, make sure that we're responding to a lot of stuff. And again, like what Bobby said, yes, everyone wants to trade a lot of players now. The Mavs have to be good next season and the season after that, preferably, and the season after that. This is kind of the only year people are like, yeah, let's tank for this year. Again, the number 1 pick in this draft, last draft, was the Dallas Mavericks. They didn't have the worst record. The number 2 pick was the San Antonio Spurs. They didn't have the worst record. The 3rd pick, again, was not the team that had the worst record with the Utah Jazz, because that was the 5th pick in the draft. The 6th pick was the Wizards, who had the 2nd worst record. So again, just because, again, your odds are going to be higher if you're one of the, I think it's the 3 worst teams, is it, Bobby?
4.
The top 4 worst teams. So you're going to have higher odds. So you do want to finish kind of within that bottom 4, but having the worst second record does not give you the advantage that it used to. So you don't have to be the worst team, but it would be nice to get in that top 4.
Yeah, I mean, to the point of, you got to get younger, you got to get healthier. You also have to look at what's in front of you as far as this Western Conference is concerned. Wembanyama for the next 10, 12 years. Luka Doncic for the next 6-7 years. Nikola Jokic in the next 3-4 years. Anthony Edwards for the next decade. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the next 6-7 years. You were able to you lucked into the hardest part, which is finding a guy that you think at some point down the road can be a foundation generational talent that you can build around in Cooper Flagg. So again, this is a time question and a financial one as well. Do you commit the kind of financial resources to keep Anthony Davis around, along with an aging Kyrie Irving, who next year will be going to his age 35 year? Anthony Davis going to be going into his age 34 year, and those players are going to be expensive. Does Klay Thompson want to stick around here in a rebuilding effort in the twilight stages of his career? Do you do what's best for him and move him on? And then we've talked to our guy Bobby Marks, who of course has been on the program as well. You could pay Max Christie a whole hell of a lot of money as soon as this upcoming offseason. Derek Lively also due for a contract extension potentially as well. There are a lot of financial questions that this team's got to answer, along with trying to balance out what the future looks like.
And let's be honest, none of us understand any of that because we don't have a whole lot of money between us.
No, we do not.
No.
But there are a lot of rules, all right?
Yeah.
And we got to learn some of them. And all of this is right now the Mavs have a 20% chance at a top 4 pick, 20.3.
I'll take it.
The next, if they were to lose more than Utah, that would be a 26% chance. Then Charlotte, 32% chance. So we're talking like minuscule chances. You have to lose a lot in order to pass the Hornets and the Nets and the Pacers. Like they're
not going to do that.
They're going to have to lose so many games, and the only way to do that is to strip all of your roster.
Yeah, you break it down. Yeah,
but then again, you're going to be
next year you're cooked.
Yeah, you're going to be poopy for a long time.
Which is why, again,
So it's tough. That's why everything they did this summer pissed me off so much.
Yeah. So
that's why I spent the summer mad on the internet. I was like, this is gonna happen. It's gonna suck.
I think what's interesting about that
and they laughed at Bobby.
like the 20% chance of having a top 4 pick, if we believe this class is as good as it is, maybe having a top 5 pick won't be as bad as it is when you're looking at a top 2 class. Like, where you only have 1 or 2 guys, you say, okay, these are the 2 consistent number 1 and 2 picks, and then everything
for sure.
else.
I mean, there's like
last year was like
there's
that
10 or
kinda.
12 guys that Mavs fans are pretty fired up about.
Yeah,
in
so this
class.
year,
So
like,
there's a lot of good players.
if
A
you
lot of good guys.
if you bottom out or try to, quote unquote, you might still get a pretty good player in this year's class because of how deep it is. We appreciate all of you joining us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast today. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. right here on DLLS Sports as the Mavericks continue to get ready to play the Brooklyn Nets on Friday with our pregame show beginning at 6:45.
We'll talk about what happens if they keep AD tomorrow. Right?
Yes.
Is that a tease?
That is a professional tease. That's very good. Appreciate our Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Thank you, sir. That is our DLLS Mavs analyst, Bobby Krell. That our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Harad Jr. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 p.m. right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.